Good morning, class. Hope you're having a good day. And today we're just going to do a quick review of polynomials. Polynomials, poly means many, and nomials are like names, it means terms. Well, what is a term? A term is anything that you're multiplying or dividing, whether it's a number or a variable, and a variable raised to a degree. So that's an example of a term right there. And terms are usually separated by subtraction or addition, or sometimes by parentheses. So this right here is a polynomial that has 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. To put it in standard form, we'd have to take the highest power first. So n is to the third power, so that would go first. This 5n to the second is the second highest. And then this 16n, that means n to the first is going to be the third highest. And then the minus square root of 17 is the last term. Yes, a number can be a term. It doesn't have to have a variable. Or you can have a variable without a coefficient number. So coefficients, are the numbers that are in front of the variables. The leading coefficient is the coefficient that's in front of the first term when it's in standard form. In other words, it's the coefficient that's in front of the highest power variable. The degree of the polynomial is also you look at your leading term when it's in standard form, and that power is going to be your degree. Monomials are polynomials of only one term. Binomials are polynomials of two terms. Trinomials are three terms, and so on. So this is a worksheet. I don't want you guys to be that concerned about doing this worksheet and returning it back to me. Mostly this is for your benefit. Go ahead and look over it, especially the adding and subtracting and multiplying. Do a few of these, as many as you want. I didn't give you that many, so you could do all of them, or you could just do one or two in each category. And make sure that you feel comfortable with polynomials. This is just for a test. The real thing that you need to do today is Khan Academy. Okay, so I'll work through some of these together. And please note that 1 through 6, you can ignore the answer keys because the answer key is something else, and it wouldn't let me edit it for some reason. But what I want you to do is look at each of these and see if you can identify the leading coefficient, the number of terms, and the degree of the polynomial. So for this one, the leading coefficient is 3. 3 is the leading coefficient because it is the coefficient in front of v to the fourth, the highest power. The number of terms, for this number 1, there are 2 terms. So number 1, there are 2 terms. And number 3, the degree of the polynomial. Because this is v to the fourth, that's your leading term, the degree is going to be 4. So it's a degree of 4. And, or we could just say fourth degree. Okay. Looking at this one here, what is the leading coefficient? It's not -6. Because r to the 6th is higher than r to the 3rd, the leading coefficient here is -3. There are, again, 2 terms. And the degree of this polynomial, it's a 6th degree, because that's raised to 6th power. So that's 6th degree. Okay. This third one, well, the leading coefficient is the only coefficient we have, -3. This is a monomial because there's only one term. And the degree is the second degree. Okay. Remember, with simplifying by adding, what you can do when you simplify by adding, it didn't move with it. You're just combining like terms. So, for example, this 4v squared, we can combine with that -3v squared. The 8 we can combine with the 6 because both of them don't have a v variable, or neither of them. And then this 5v to the fourth stands by itself. So to go ahead and write the answer, it's going to look something like this. 4 minus 3 is 1, so we have 1 v squared. Okay. 8 plus 6 is 14. And then the plus 5. Now this is not in standard form, so if you look at the answer key, you'll see, wait a minute, it looks different than what I have. And so to put it in standard form, we put this term first, 5v to the fourth, because it has the highest power. V squared has the second highest power. And then 14 is the lowest power. That's adding polynomials. Okay. Now to subtract polynomials, you do the same thing, but remember to distribute that negative first. So this is going to become a negative 6. Let's go ahead and write that. That's going to become a negative 6. Okay. P to the fourth. That negative makes this negative a positive, so that's going to be plus 6 p to the third. And then I distribute that negative over to here, and that's going to make it a plus 7. So here, let's make it a little bit easier, a little more clear. Okay, I'm just going to turn that, let me get rid of that plus sign, that minus sign, and I'm going to distribute it here. It's going to make it this a negative 6. It's going to make this a plus. That's going to make that a plus. You're basically just changing the signs of all the terms on the inside. Now you combine like terms just like we did there. And then finally, it's multiplying a polynomial times a polynomial. I've given you binomials. So again, if you want to use the square method, or you could use FOIL, if any of you know that. But we're going to do a 2 by 2. Box method works good if it's not a binomial times a binomial. Okay? We have 8n. We have minus 5. And we have 3n and minus 4. Now we multiply the row times the column for each box. So what's this one going to be? 3 times 8 is 24. And n times n is n squared. For this box, it's 3n is the column, and negative 5 is the row. So it's negative 15, and there's only one n, so we just put n. Okay? 8n and negative 4 are going to be that one, so that's negative 32. And then just n, because that doesn't have an n, so we just have one n that we're multiplying. Negative 4 times 8 times n. Okay, now this one's negative 5 times negative 4. Negative times a negative gives us a positive 20. You can write the plus sign if you want to, but you don't have to. Now we just add these together. We're combining like terms. Like terms are in the diagonals again. Love those diagonals. They're both negative. So negative 15 plus negative 32, they're the same sign, so we're going to add. So that would be 47. And because they're both negative, I'm going to put the negative in front. And because this is the highest degree, I'm going to put that in front of it. I'm just adding each of these cubes. I'm just writing this cube plus this cube plus that cube plus that cube. I'm sorry, square plus that square plus that square plus that square. But since these are like terms, I can add them together. That makes 3 terms. And then the 20 I'm going to put last because it doesn't have an n. There you go. Hope you have a good day. Bye.